So, how to really see through the falsehood, and where does this falsehood actually originate? The falsehood originates from the collective. It is the collective level of consciousness which defines how we live and what we experience. So if we want to blame the times and the era, no. The times and the era came to exist because we, as a collective being, manifested it, or we have been manifesting it for thousands of years. So the corruption of knowledge, the corruption of being, of our collective consciousness resulted in this falsehood. Now, if the majority is false, or if the majority has false understanding of things, then it doesn't mean that there is no true understanding whatsoever. But this level of true understanding will not be predominant at this point of time. And it will be so rare that it won't be noticeable. How to recognize falsehood? First of all, we need to accept that most of the things we observe is false. Because in this day and age, we cannot perceive. So we tend to believe in words, in presentations, in subliminal messages, in encouragements. People can promise us promised lands, guidance to the paradise, to heavens, happiness on earth. They can motivate us. They can say that they would guide us to this and that, yet they haven't reached there themselves. And the falsehood means, the age of falsehood means that you can't really check as long as you remain dormant yourself, as long as you are unable to perceive yourself through the ultimate, because you don't have that link consciously. You do have that link continuously, but you're not aware of that link within yourself. And most of the people cannot activate that link because no matter how much they proclaim that they can, because they are not completely established within themselves. Sometimes people discover powers either through certain practices, either through abuse of certain herbs and substances, or because of dramatic experiences in their lives. But even having experienced a glimpse of their natural being, which is nothing strange, we are all natural beings, and we're supposed to be connected with that all the time. But having a glimpse of that, which all of us has, doesn't mean that we have completely refined through that, because being reconnected with the ultimate requires refinement. So most of the people don't understand that, because they look for happiness here and now. But this happiness is not there. Even if there are glimpses of blissful absorption, contentment, the happiness is not there, because happiness, the notion of happiness, is false. We should not look for happiness, we should look for contentment and inner establishment within that ultimate self, which is the source of eternal contentment. So most of the people falsely chase these easy paths or traps, the false promises. They're ready to pay fortunes for that. These commercially enlightened beings who are promising them commercial happiness. But happiness and contentment come through the realization of how I have cut down this link, or destroyed that link, or disturbed that link within myself that does not allow me now to be happy and to be content. What have I contributed to this, and how this unhappiness manifests? If we aren't able to find this courage to manifest this realization, to face ourselves, to understand the root causes of current veiled perception of reality, which is so-called unhappiness, and at the same time the strong desire to pursue happiness, we will never understand what true spirituality is, because spirituality is our being. It's not something out there, but it is the root of the self. The root of the self is the ultimate. It's not in your tailbone. Your awakening is because you reconnect with that root. It's not because you're sitting on your tailbone and something is moving there. That is falsehood. That is speculation without experience. That is repetition because someone else said. Where is the experience? If the experience was there, you would never speculate about all these new medieval concepts of yoga, meditation, so on, because they are the corrupt forms of knowledge, because the knowledge was no longer there, or was in crumbles and bits and pieces, which someone tried to recollect and summon together. Why do you need someone else's experience? Because you don't trust yourself. You're not able to look at yourself. You don't trust yourself. You don't trust life, which you live, which is you. You need someone's approval, someone's encouragement, someone's false promise. And you are lazy. You're afraid. And you're not able to look for solutions within. You're not able to face yourself with courage. You're not able to face challenges, to understand that all these challenges are of the self-created nature. In order to meet a real guide in life, the guide who has gone through self-refinement and established in themselves, you are to be ready for that type of guidance. If you want to pursue false dreams, you will meet guides which will feed you these false dreams. But the path of self-refinement is difficult because it pushes people to face the inner veils, the inner dirt, the false expressions of self, the corruption of self. And it's unpleasant because you are to work with these things deeply, and you are to be challenged through the process, and you are to recognize the challenge. And many people fail and they perish. And that's the essence of this age. They perish because they lose themselves to the power. They lose themselves to the spiritual traps that they create themselves with their false ambitions, with their spiritual narcissism, with their spiritual wannabe, with their unicorns and angels and guides. They lose themselves to the illusion, maybe subtle illusion, but still an illusion. They lose themselves to self-proclamation. Instead of cultivating stillness, they cultivate fuss. Instead of simplifying, they create more tinsel around them. And that's why falsehood prevails. That's why This is the age of spiritual ignorance, Kali Yuga, because this is the best opportunity for us to see the veils, the result of all the corruption of the cycle. And those people who understand that will welcome this and will see this as a great opportunity to work on themselves, to refine and exit and get on a different level of existence. The rest of the people will roam in their spiritual business, in their false pursuit, and will remain within that, falsely hoping to get somewhere. Those who have reconnected within themselves never feel that they have anywhere to go, anything to do. They just emanate, just remain in their essence and observe the passing of events, seasons, cycles, and that's it. What's the meaning? Life, experience, multidimensionality, emanation, selflessly, effortlessly, and exit. This life is the result of one's desire to have this experience, so have it as you wish. But the experience itself doesn't lead anywhere unless you create a story around the experience, and unless you cling to the emotions and feelings that this experience produces. So this nightmare of emotions and feelings is produced by you. The experience triggers these again, and the past becomes your present, so you never know the future. This is the essence of living. Experience and let go. But in order to get to that simplicity, you need to refine self through a lot of challenges. You need to see the mechanism of complication, the mechanism of complicating life, the complication within the self. Once you recognize it consciously, you have a chance to refine it. But the refinement is not some theoretical exercise only. It's an actual through life observation and experience where every day you feel triggered, you feel challenged, and you don't point the fingers because you know that everything is within you. So you dive more within and you realize the mechanisms. So eventually you master the illusion within the self and you break through the time and space constraints. You no longer are in that Kali Yuga within yourself, yet your body might live through the Kali Yuga. Yet, that's the beauty of that all. May truth prevail and guide us within ourselves. further, to further refinement, and towards inner contentment. Thank you.